everyone. Welcome back to my channel. This is Michelle for Afro Expats. So I'm super excited today to speak to Desiree Parkman. She's in Playa. Lots of fun people over in Playa, looking all pretty and glowing and stuff. And she actually is going to tell us about her journey to Mexico, just everything that it entails. And we are super excited to be connected because we're planning a retreat together for February 2022. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But without further ado, I'll let her jump right in and tell us a little bit about herself, where you're from, where you ended up being in life, and how you ended up in Mexico, because I know a little bit of it, but let's just go ahead and jump in.
All right. Thanks so much, Michelle, for having me. It's a pleasure. Excuse the noise. Of course, anytime you try to do a video, there's always like noise in the background when you don't want it.
Of course.
But I've been following you online for a while, and I'd seen your YouTube channel, and I was always like, oh, I really want to get on the show and, talk about my journey. And it's just been a really exciting year, not just for myself, but for so many expats now that have been leaving the States and, different places, and ended up all in Mexico, and I'm happy to be part of this new pioneer group of people that are finding their way into a new community and meeting people like yourself, and really just connecting and building together. That's one of my favorite things to be able to do, is connect with like-minded people. So again, my name is Desiree Parkman, and I am the owner of a wellness company called Root and Align, and Root is spelled R-O-U-T-E, because it's really like a travel and wellness company. I also feel like we talk a lot about getting back to our roots and things like that. And I think that when you think about the experience, especially of people of color, a lot of it has to do with migration and roots, so I kind of did a little play on roots in that way.
I love it.
I'm originally hailing from up north, Boston, Massachusetts. And I basically grew up dancing. I've always been a mover. I started dancing at a young age, ballet, tap, and jazz. And really, I felt like from an early age, I just knew that that was my purpose, and my passion was to tell stories through movement. So that kind of led me on a whole journey through dance, and I was really able to meet some of my childhood dreams. I danced on Broadway for several years in Annie Get Your Gun with Bernadette Peters.
Wow.
I'm also one of the very few Black Rockettes. So I did a couple of seasons with them at Radio City Music Hall and the Land of the Kicks. So if you've ever gotten a chance to visit New York or watch the Macy's Day Parade, you may have seen me. I spent about 14 years in New York, and really just kind of pounded the pavement and did a lot of the different things that you would do as a dancer, whether it was dancing with the Modern Dance Company, going on tour, film and television, and then eventually kind of just feeling like I was ready to do something different and I wanted to transition. If you know any artists, you know that, pivoting and transitioning is really not anything new. I know a lot of people during COVID, it was kind of the big catchphrase, pivoting.
Right.
But I think as an artist, you're pretty much always pivoting and trying to find new opportunities. So I kind of took my bag of tricks, and I decided I wanted to kind of move away from just auditioning for a living and get more involved in creating. So I moved out of New York, and I started programming, so cultural programming for the Boys and Girls Club of Cleveland. So that was kind of my first real job, where I actually had to go clock in somewhere. But I say it was kind of like my grad school education. It was really amazing. I got to say, Cleveland was one of the best places. I learned so much. I think I had just headed into my 30s at that time. And I really got a chance to see how nonprofits work. I got a chance to see where the holes were and how important arts was to the community and the lack of it, So I really, I had a lot of freedom, and I was able to control a big pot of money to really bring on the best teaching artists, and to really give the kids a lot of exposure to African dance, salsa, drumming. We did painting classes. I really encourage them into commerce, because as an artist, we need to be selling things. We love to perform, but we also need to make a living. So I had them doing like photography books, poetry books. We
Beautiful.
did performances.
Mhm.
And I had a really great thing going there for about 3 years up
Mhm.
until like 2008 when the market crashed. The whole housing boom happened.
Yeah.
Well, it blew up, I guess.
Crash. Yeah.
And I just I got laid off. They laid off like all the extracurriculum people,
Mm.
which arts really is not art, it's not extracurriculum. I have to say that. But
Right.
anyway, that kind of pushed me to start my own thing because I realized that I really did have all of the things necessary. I was already a born leader. I was really capable of talking to people and presenting. And through the Boys and Girls Club, I had like this good network of people that knew my work. So
Mhm.
I was able to get some funding and also like a big warehouse space that I was able to get for free. It was like my flash dance moment. Like if you've
Aw,
seen that movie,
I
you know
have.
how she lived. She lived in that warehouse, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
it was like my flash dance moment. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to have an after school program. And so that's what I did there. For about a year and a half, I had about 50 kids coming in every
Oh,
day.
nice.
We did tutoring, and then different days we would do like dance, drama, art classes. We would have performances. It was really like a little movement that was happening.
Mhm.
But the kind of climate around there, it was really hard to get funding and to kind of sustain it. And I
Mhm.
kind of started itching to kind of be back in the, I guess, the entertainment sector. So I
Mhm.
took another job out in LA, and I moved out to LA and kind of just continued in this like presenting, producing theater. I did some shows while I was out there. I think I wasn't really ready to retire from performing. So this was
Mhm.
kind of like my swan song for real. And I did a little mini tour of Dreamgirls while I was out there. So
Oh, nice.
that was kind of like my, okay, I think I'm good. I got a chance to do like one of my dream shows.
Right.
Um, yeah, LA was great. I got a chance to reconnect with some of my old homies from New York and everything. So that was cool. I kind of had a built-in like infrastructure there.
Mhm.
But I think I always was attracted to like holistic arts practices and things.
Mhm.
So I went to massage school while I was there, and that became kind of like my little side hustle,
Okay.
where I was doing massages, like sports massages. I
Mhm.
was working at a spa, and I had some private clients, and
Mhm.
I just kind of like really dove into that. I really fell in love with like the Eastern side of it, like doing
Mhm.
shiatsu and Thai massage, and learning about crystals and energy work and things like that. So
Mhm.
I kind of put that in my pocket and then just kind of went on about life and went back to like, programming and doing the things that I was used to doing. And I
Mhm.
think that for anybody that has pivoted or transitioned, there's always this feeling of you kind of like you're moving away from who you always knew yourself to be, and it sometimes can be really scary to be jumping
Mhm.
into this new pool and that you're really uncertain of. And
Mhm.
even though before it's like you had no problems like going into the unknown, but
Mhm.
it was still like arts related,
Right.
so it took a minute for me to kind of get over this like kind of identity crisis of like that I was kind of shedding and turning into, not even turning into, I was just growing and
Yeah.
blossoming into like this
Exactly.
next part of my life, as I
Mhm.
was going into my 40s. And
Mhm.
so kind of once I decided that, I really just decided that that was going to be part of my life's work. I was always going to be connected to the moving arts because I really do know that any kind of movement is really great in healing. It's great
Absolutely.
working with people that need more body confidence, people
Mhm.
that just need to move, period. As you get older, we need to be really mindful of our bones and our joints and all of these things so
Mhm.
that we can continue to be supple and mobile as we get
Right.
older. So I knew I wanted to do something around movement and
Mhm.
also incorporate, all the other modalities that I had been studying.
Mhm.
So kind of fast forward to me moving to Miami. And I was in Miami for the last 4 or 5 years. And
Mhm.
that's when I kind of like was meshing all these things together and doing pop-ups, like wellness pop-ups where we would do yoga, we would do movement, even talking about wellness of your finances. I would bring people in and do that. And then on the other side, I was still working for like some of the top restaurants and bars, hiring like bands and stuff like that. So I was kind of like
Oh,
doing both
fun.
of those things,
Mhm.
and I love entertainment. So I'm always going to be kind of like have my foot in there. And then COVID hit, so like COVID kind of shut down any events People weren't going out. I remember I was doing some work with the Miami Heat, and I was really excited because I was like going to be doing like VIP stuff. And I was like, yes, I'm about to get up in here. I'm going to be doing all these things, you know, to make some money. And then they're like, oh, you know, sorry, we're not going to be doing any of that. We're shutting down the season. So that's when I knew it was about to be a wrap.
Yeah.
You know, it was really going to be a wrap. And I decided, I remember in 2020, on my vision board, I already had the idea that I wanted to be living abroad. It was always a dream of mine. I had traveled quite a bit just from entertaining and touring, but I never really took the plunge to be like, I'm going to live somewhere for a year or whatever. And so on my list was, it was like Costa Rica, Panama, and Guatemala. Mexico wasn't even on the list. Okay. So I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then all those places were closed. You know, they really weren't letting anybody in.
Yeah.
Mexico was the place that was open. And, you know, we're all like shut down at home. And all you see is everybody like in Tulum, you know, in Playa, living their best lives. And I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get this one-way ticket, and you know, let's just see what happens. So that's what I did. You know, I packed up my stuff. I went for like a month in October
last year,
and just to kind of check it out. And I had somebody like subletting my apartment, and then she got a job to go back on the cruise once things started to open up again. So I decided that was a sign for me to kind of just cut ties. So I got like one of my friends to help like clear out my apartment and sell everything. And then I was just like, deuces, see you later. And yeah, Mexico, Playa del Carmen, it was, I don't think I had any expectations of what it was or what it could be. I just kind of took, you know, the gifts that I had to share and tried to, you know, offer what I could to the community and build. And what I found there was a great community of people, really loving and supportive community, people that were kind of on a journey searching as well. So, you know, I got a cool apartment. I was like, I sliced my rent in half. You know, I was living close to the beach, and I started doing like online yoga. So I really started focusing on building Root and Align as like an online platform at the time. And so in that, I do like yoga classes, mostly geared for like the beginner yogi, the person that maybe hasn't spent a lot of time studying yoga or even being on the mat. And, you know, they just really need some one-on-one attention. Restorative yoga. I like to do a lot of restorative yoga, and then stretching. I'm always kind of incorporating stretching in all that I do because of my dance background. I'm also a baby herbalist, so I had done a certification. So I started, I remember somebody in one of the WhatsApp groups asked about like, did anybody have any Yoni herbs? And it started this whole thread and like on Yoni steaming and all that. And I was like, you know, I had all the herbs. I just really hadn't thought about that that's what I was going to do. I was really more of a herbalist for like pain and management and things like that, things that have to do with movement.
Right.
But then I said, oh yeah, you know, I have it. And so then people like wanted to buy these Yoni herbs. And then that became a whole thing of, we did a group Yoni Steam at my apartment, like with 10 women. And
what does that consist of? Yeah, I was just going to ask you.
If people don't know what Yoni steaming is, it's basically it's an indigenous practice that has been around for a long time. You know, if you talk to some of your elders, they may know about it. Basically, it's a steam for your yoni, for your vagina, basically. You use different herbs that are nourishing and for your womb. And it's meant to help ease the pains of like your menstrual cycle. Also, it can help with fertility. It can help with menopause issues. And it's also just a feel good kind of self-care thing to be doing. So I started doing that, you know, and I had one of the guys in Mexico make me my own little pot, and it kind of just blossomed from there. So that was one of the other things that that I offered while I was in Mexico. And then lastly, I started doing these moon circles, full moon drum circles. Something I always wanted to do. I'm not a drummer though, so I had to kind of like manifest.
Get someone to drum for you.
Drummers. And excuse me. So I found some drummers on the beach, They sounded really good too. I mean, they had the djembes and everything. Like they were playing African rhythms for sure. And
Nice.
I wasn't really speaking any Spanish at that time, so
Mhm.
I just basically like mimed to them what I wanted to do,
Mhm.
and they were down with it. And we started it, and it kind of just grew and grew and grew. And
Mhm.
basically, like I would say, this last December was like 1 year of drum circles. Like we've been doing drum circles every full moon, and
Nice.
we dance, we do yoga. I make moon tea. So depending on like what the moon is, it might be something like with hibiscus and nettles,
Mhm.
eucalyptus, like things that are gonna make you feel good, strengthen your nervous system, all these
Mhm.
things. But I think that that's one of the proudest things that I've accomplished this year is just bringing
Mhm.
together people under the moon and connecting with a lot of the locals that are there. And it
Mhm.
really has become like a really collaborative experience. And also seeing the growth of the people that have participated, how their
Mhm.
lives have expanded,
Mhm.
and the things that they've been able to manifest just from, some of the things and intention settings that we've been doing in the circles. So
Mhm.
I
I
think you have
love
a clip.
that. I do. So there's a clip of her doing one of her drum circles. We're gonna throw that in here, which was a great suggestion, by the way. But before we go to that, I just wanted to ask you, first of all, a little bit like about, this is going back to the beginning, about your experiences as a Rockette, because I'm sure someone's gonna say to me, like, why didn't you ask her more about that? Just, I mean, maybe it's way back for you, but it's something I think a lot of people know about. What was that like? And then also just like what was your kind of learning process with doing the drumming and the learning about the teas and a baby herbalist kind of scenario. I think
Yeah.
that that's really important because I feel like a lot of the folks that I'm getting to talk to are really reconnecting with a lot of the natural things and the access
Hmm.
that you have here, and that people are a little bit more into healing their bodies in different ways with what's
Totally.
provided here as opposed to maybe where we came from and what we know.
Sure. Okay, so I'll tackle the Rockettes first. Rockettes it was a beautiful experience. Rocket it wasn't something that I was like, oh my God, I want to be a Rockette. I remember growing up and seeing them, and back then a lot of times maybe we dancers could be kind of snobbish and thinking that all they do is kicks and that it's easy, and like, is this a job that I want to do? La la la. So, but when you need a job, you're gonna audition. And so I remember I auditioned for them twice actually. The first year they want you to wear like tights and a leotard. And I remember me and my crew was like, we don't want to wear that. We're gonna wear like a one-piece unitard. And we got cut immediately. They were like, nah, we said to wear tights and a leotard. So the next year I went back in the whole protocol, hair back, lashes. And there's like about 300 girls there, and
Wow.
you just have to, you work your way through. There's like a ballet part, there's a jazz, and then a tap part, and then at the end, if you make it, you have to do some kicks on your own. When
Mhm.
I made it on the line, I was excited because through that process, I really gained a lot of respect for the organization and for the women online. And I'm telling you, it's one of the hardest jobs I ever had. Just dancing that close to someone and really learning how to kind of contain yourself inside, but still be like really, smiling and things.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I mean, you learn like 6 dances for Christmas season, and
Mhm.
you're definitely doing like over 300 kicks. And it's a lot to remember,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
like, I pretty much everybody has kicked out once or twice where you kick and everybody's gone, right? And
Oh.
you just, you're like, oh man, and you just kind of book it out, right? But I say, it was very prestigious, and I know my place in history around it.
Mhm.
The organization is almost 100 years old, and there's probably like maybe 50 Rockettes of color, and out
Mhm.
of that 50, maybe like 30 of them are Black women.
Mhm.
So that in itself, really says a lot about not just my place in history, but my other Rockette sisters as well.
Mhm.
I also feel like it creates a really great role model for other young girls of color that may
Absolutely.
aspire to be online, and just
Mhm.
knowing that they have access to being able to do that.
Right.
So yeah, all in all, I'm definitely an advocate. One of my other Rockette sisters and I, Kenna, we have an organization called Moving Armor Dance Network, and really that mission is all about bringing more girls of color into the precision dance world and giving them access and artistry and things like that. So
That's
It was
cool.
a really great job, and I'm glad that I was a part of the organization.
Mhm.
Um, Secondly, yes, I definitely think there's a push going back to herbalism and everything
Mhm.
that's connected to nature and things like that.
Mhm.
And like I said, I always was kind of attracted to that world. My mom said that when I was little, I always was like in the back in my little kitchen, like stirring up dandelions and stuff, like stinking up the house or whatever. And so I think maybe I just naturally wanted to do that, but it took a long time. But in Mexico, a lot of people come in there for healing, and you have a lot of access to a lot of plant medicines and
Right.
natural remedies.
Mhm.
And so, I just have taken it as a learning opportunity to immerse myself and learn about the indigenous plants around me wherever I travel and how I
Right.
could incorporate them into my life,
Mhm. No, I
and how
think
I can
that's right.
serve other people through that
Mhm.
and kind of educate them on, ways that they can heal themselves. Yeah, just learning, especially during this time now, I mean, with all the things going on with the virus, it's really good to be able to know that you can go and buy some mullein, and that's really great for your lungs and your respiratory
Exactly.
system,
Exactly.
and just things that you can do on your own.
Mhm. And I think that's something that, a lot of people don't take the time to learn what could heal my body if I'm sick, as opposed to prescription drugs and things like that.
Right.
Especially in this day and age, I know that there's COVID and all these other things, but I do really believe that we've been designed to, be able to take care of things, and there are things in nature that help that process. And being here, I know for a fact that I've taken a lot of extra time to learn about the local things that work, even all the way down to what works in the environment that you live in as well. What works in San Miguel versus on the beach, which is at like a lower level. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, there you are. So yeah, so we'll show your video. This is well, you explain it a little bit better than me.
Okay, so the video that you're getting ready to see is from one of the first drum circles in Playa del Carmen on the beach right near the pier. And so this is kind of like at the moment where we're free dancing and everybody's just, doing their thing.
So explain this, share with
Okay,
us. That's an
sure.
awesome
So
photo.
again, I feel like last year was like a super growth year, and I actually had my first retreat
Mhm,
on in November, and so this is our ceremony day. It was a
mhm,
cacao ceremony and movement, and it was all
mhm,
around shedding and blooming, and
mhm,
really kind of just letting go of things that no longer serve us and allowing ourselves to be open for the next chapter. So this is at a temple that's in the jungle in Playa
mhm,
del Carmen, and it was just a really beautiful day. As you can see, women from all backgrounds, and it was a 4-day retreat. We had like yoga every day and movement
mhm,
and good vegetarian food, things like that, and it was just really amazing. And I'm really proud of the result. And yeah, this is kind of what it is, and we'll be doing it again in November. And I'm not sure if it's going to be in Playa del Carmen. I think it's going to be in Costa Rica this year.
oh,
But I
beautiful.
also have like 1-day retreats on Airbnb, so people are able to like if you come in town with your girlfriends or whatever, you'll
Mhm.
be able to hook up and do like a 1-day retreat, etc.
I love it. So tell me a little more about your stretching, because I know you do also classes or something else on the
Yes.
beach. I saw your recent ad about that.
Um, so I just started a series called Stretch Out on Saturdays.
Mhm,
1 second, I'm waiting for somebody. And so basically what it is we're learning to get more flexible
mhm,
and to basically hit a split at some point. But again, it's not going to happen on day one.
I need to sign
So
up. It won't happen. It'll happen on day 100 for me. Go ahead.
right. But like the thing, that's just like the extra part. It's really about the journey of
Yeah.
like getting yourself flexible and,
Mhm.
just, and really just getting your body strong. The splits
Okay.
is kind of just an added extra thing.
Mhm.
Um, so as you can see, I'm on the move because
Yeah,
I'm
that's okay.
traveling and I've got to go get my COVID test to
Yes,
get
I
back.
know. No
But
problems.
so yeah, I'm really excited. We had day one yesterday,
Mhm.
and I'm basically doing this free series for the whole month of January.
Okay.
And so if any of you guys are looking to increase your flexibility and whatnot, you can
Mhm.
come and join us on Saturdays at 10:30 Eastern time, and I'll send you the link. And if you want to add it later, you can.
Okay.
But yeah, we're having a lot of fun. We had about 14 ladies that
Nice.
came in, and they did really great. I was really proud of them to see their progress just on day one. So I'm super excited. And then in addition to that, I do private yoga classes,
Mhm.
a lot of, and I do Yoni Steams and things like that. So
Mhm.
basically I do like things that are around holistic arts, and it's customizable. So, if
Okay.
there's something that you're looking to do, I'm pretty sure that I can, do something customized for you. And then, I always tell people it's not just yoga, because I feel like a lot of times when I meet with clients, it ends
Mhm.
up being a little bit of coaching too,
Mhm.
because as you're kind of going through yoga, it's not just about asanas, it's really about the lifestyle, and trying to make it part of your lifestyle. And then that can include other things, tapping into like on your passions, things that you may
Mhm.
have backburned, even like wanting to move abroad, or having a career change or whatever, right? So it
Mhm.
becomes a time, to sit on the mat and stretch, but also to talk about some of these life moves that you're trying to make. So,
Right.
and then lastly, that's kind of the alignment, and the root
Mhm.
part is us getting together wherever we are, whether it's online or whether we're in Mexico or San Miguel, like we get
Right.
together and retreat so that we
Mhm.
can actually come together and have that as part of our root, to get in a line. I
Exactly.
like to say, find your root, get aligned.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think it's great. So, with your classes, do you offer like a replay online session, or because I know that that's mostly, well, at least the advertising I saw was on the beach.
Yes. So when I'm in Playa, I do
Mhm.
things live in Playa. And then
Okay.
I also do things online. So like the stretch
Okay.
class yesterday was online. It was on Zoom, and then
Okay.
people had the recording. I did do a full moon drum virtual last full moon, and I'm
Okay.
probably gonna do one again because I'm traveling. And so that is more kind of like a journaling type of vibe.
Mhm.
We do a little bit of movement,
Mhm.
and we kind of just talk about like what we're trying to plan and manifest for this year. It's not
Okay.
as interactive as being on the beach with all the drums and stuff, but
Right.
it gets you a little bit of piece of like the magic that we actually have on the beach.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a mix of hybrid and in person depending on what's going on. I've been
Mhm.
traveling for the holidays, so
Okay.
I'm kind of getting back stationary, and I'll be back for the retreat with you and doing
Mhm.
some things in Playa del Carmen. But it's
I
an
love it.
exciting time. I think that for a lot of us new expats, it's kind of a little bit of a jigsaw puzzle,
And that's
and
true.
just kind of finding, I want to be doing things that I love doing, and
Mhm.
I know for me, um, I think one of my superpowers is really being able to bring people together and
Mhm.
have these transformative experiences,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, multi-generational too, because I feel like I work with a lot of people that, from different ages, so.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good point too. No, I think that's amazing. So, like, what do you tell me? How's it going in Playa for you? Like, what was it like for
Uh,
you when you got there? And
how's it going?
now, yeah, like, do you feel like you're well adjusted? Do you feel like it's someplace you want to be indefinitely, or do you just find playing it by ear?
I feel Playa has been really great to me. I don't think Playa is like where I'm going to be forever. I think it
Mhm.
was a great base and a great entry
Mhm.
to like life abroad.
Mhm.
I want to explore. Part of the reason I came to Mexico is that I wanted to explore
Mhm.
folkloric dance. So I've kind of been traveling around to like Veracruz and going through Oaxaca and really just kind of, you know, getting in touch with more cultural like vibes in that direction. So I'm not really sure, you know, I think that I've been in Playa for a year and I have a little bit more time left there, but I do feel like I'm going to explore like maybe Mérida or, you know, some other areas of Mexico.
And have you had a chance to do the folklore part yet, or you're looking?
I have, yes.
How was that?
I've learned, it was great. I actually found a teacher that taught me like Harambe Tapatia, which is the Mexican hat dance. And so I was able to put the costume on and everything. And it's been great, like to learn about all the different cultural dances. And I learned La Bruja, which is the dance from Veracruz. It's the national dance for that. And it's a beautiful dance. Hold on one second.
Sure. I'm glad I looked at this. No worries.
So we were talking about folkloric dance.
The Bruja, Veracruz.
As I move around, I want to be able to connect with other dancers, and I just I think that Playa is limited in that way. So you know, I'm just gonna keep moving. You know, right now I'm kind of just being open and going with the flow and what feels good, you know. So
okay, that sounds fantastic. So well, I'm glad that you're enjoying it, and you know, life is treating you pretty cool in Playa.
I'm excited. I've been meeting some great people along the way, like yourself. I'm excited to come and spread some magic your way.
Yes.
And get some magic from the other facilitators that are going to be there.
Yes.
So
yeah, I'm excited about our team. You know, and I think what's interesting for me is, as I said in our first meeting, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this. So for those of watching the audience, like we're going to have this all women's retreat. Sorry, guys. But what I really like is that I've always wanted to do something like this, but that I can find, you know, talented people here that can add, like you said, sprinkle that magic to the experience in general. So as soon as you contacted me and told me what you did, I was like, oh, that sounds so ideal. Like, I definitely think that's going to be the fun part. The whole thing is going to be really calming and chill, but I feel like that's going to be, you know, the part where we can kind of just let loose and have movement with our body. So I'm really excited about that.
I am too. I'm really looking forward to it. And I can't wait to meat you in person.
Likewise.
And I really appreciate this time. I know it was kind of split, but that's kind of how it is. Like,
I totally understand. Yes, I know you got to get your stuff settled there for you to travel.
I want to wish you a happy new year, and to all the people, all your audience out there, happy new year. And you know, we're gonna make some magic in 2022.
Yes.
And be good to yourself, give yourself some grace, and get moving. You know, even if it's like 15, 20 minutes a day, do a few roll downs, you know, hit a downward dog here, and hit me up if you need some help with that.
Root and align, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much, Desiree, for being here.
Thank you, Michelle.
I'll see you soon, and good luck with all your travels and all the stuff we got to do nowadays to get on the plane.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Thanks, guys.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.